Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of Everyday Life with Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm Aspie, and I welcome you with open arms to the newbies that's on my channel. And for whatever reason you came to my page, I hope that you find some clarity, peace, hope, understanding, or whatever reason it may have been, maybe some answers to what you're going through. Just a brief introductory about me if you're new to this channel is that I do all about mental health and awareness. This is sharing my life stories with Asperger's syndrome and the like, along with also tips and advice along the way with your general health. This is your mental health, as well as some just messages of hope to give you guys clarity and understanding of what you may be going through, regardless what it may be of your personal struggles, and hopefully being your mental advocate or whatever it may be of a reasoning behind this camera to be your voice. So it has been put to my attention, as I said, I'm doing the mental health awareness part of the video series, even though mental health is, like, as we know, a broad topic, as well as my autism and series will be, even though I'm still doing some research based on some of it. And then also, in saying that, general health sort of topics as well of what you maybe got that you want answers for will come into play as well somewhere and soon too. So don't fret, they are forever coming. It's just a slow process, as you know, because obviously with the research and getting the right information in place is crucial at this point, so that I don't mislead you into anything. Just remember, when I do share some of these topics, I'm no medical doctor. I'm just your normal everyday Joe vlogs, sharing my life stories with what I go through on my Asperger's syndrome. But yet, if you see on the warning signs or something based in regards to the ones I have clearly shared in the past to up to late of the latest one, you know, seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, as well as seeking advice for yourself or your loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm. I want you guys to live a healthy and happy life. So it has been put to my attention, as I said, that some of this is going to be based on mental health series versus everything else, as well as maybe some on the listings on my beautiful from meshes, who knows. But in this part, this one's all about handling rejection. So in the last two parts, part one was obviously all about dealing with the aftermath of your rejection. Part two was obviously dealing with rejection long term. And this is the last part of the series, which is part three, handling a rejection proposal. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these. If so, smash that like button for me to show that you're engaging and supporting these kind of video series. Because as I said, once in a while what we go through, I'm sure we need to hear it from someone else, what they go through and how they dealt with it, and hopefully with understanding that we can learn, give and take from each other and educate from each other, you know. So, and all for the do, guys, basically, as I said, this one's all about part three, handling a rejection proposal. So let's begin this before I run out of time. So, number one, remember you're allowed to say no once in a while. This can be a hard one for a lot of people, me included, because obviously I'm the type of girl that likes to, you know, go yes, 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 and take it on, and then when it does, you know, it just tends to build up, you know, if you say yes all the time and you don't have time for yourself and whatnot, regardless what it may be. Here's an example, like, we could say that you're at work, you know, you might be doing an admin job of some kind, and then you get phone calls and stuff on your normal role, but then all of a sudden the boss is asking for someone to go out and organise a dinner party function, even though it may be not in your job description to organise one, and that, and then you know, your co-workers obviously, you know, they feel they've got enough on their plate, so they think they can just dump it on you. But then again, you've got to remember that for us women especially, it is a hard one, you know, to say no. But we're not under any obligation to say yes to something that we don't want to do. So don't suspect that, just, you know, we can be superwoman or superman of any case to actually work our way through it. Of course, there are caveats. When the flight attendant says sit down, you may have to do so. If someone asks you on a date and you don't want to go with them, you can tell them in a straightforward manner that you're simply not interested. It's pure and simple. If a friend wants to go on a road trip that you don't want to go to or don't want to do, but you can't afford it or whatever reason it may be, it won't destroy their world if you say no. Number two, be direct. One of the best ways to reject a proposal is to be as direct as possible. Don't be cagey or talk around it. Don't beat them around the bush. Direct doesn't equal being mean, although some people will take it that way. There isn't any way to reject someone's proposal of anything. A date, a manuscript, a job, without giving some pain to that person. For example, someone asks you out and you're interested. Say, I'm really flattered, but I don't feel that way about you. If they don't take the hint, get angry and tell them in unequivocal terms, I'm not and will not be interested. And the fact that you won't leave me alone is making me even less likely to be interested in you. From the second example above, when your friend proposes a trip, say, thanks for thinking of me. I really can't afford to go on this vacation that you've sorted out, even for the weekend. Maybe next time. This way, you don't cut off the possibility of any future fun, but you tell your friend straight up that you don't want to go without saying maybe and things like that. 3. Give specific reasons. Why you don't owe anyone an explanation. It can help the person whose proposal you're rejecting if you're specific about why you're not interested. There are areas of improvement, such as, especially in things like a resume or writing a manuscript, you might mention those as things that could work on. For a relationship reasoning, simply tell them that you're not interested and you don't feel that way about them. If they press for more reasons, tell them that the attraction and love aren't things you have control over and that you need to accept that you're not interested. If you're rejecting someone's poem from your magazine article and you have time, explain what about the poem didn't work for you, the poem structure, the cliches, etc., etc. You don't have to say that was terrible, but you can say that it needed some more work done before it can become publishable. 4. Do it quickly. By doing the rejecting stage of it all as soon as possible, you aren't letting any emotions build up and fester. It's like ripping off a band-aid, to use as a cliche here to clearly illustrate. Within as short a period as possible, explain to that particular person that the proposal, a trip with a friend, a date with someone, a person's manuscript, etc., doesn't work for you. The more quickly you do it, the more quickly you'll be able to get over and use the experiences to improve. So my tips here, obviously, to end this video will be, find a way to unwind of the rejection. Some people turn to their phones, others to a hot bath and meditation. Find ways to clear your mind. Get over the bad feelings and restore your equilibrium. If someone rejects you from love, number 2, this is, it doesn't mean you should feel poorly of yourself or feel bad. It just means that they didn't feel the attraction and you can't alter that feeling or thinking for them. Number 3, just because someone said no to whatever you're trying to get them to say yes to doesn't mean they don't see the good in you. So rather than focus on the no, just shake it off and focus on the good in yourself. Number 4, most achievement and acceptance is all about hard work. Sometimes we're not as willing to admit to ourselves that we still have more work to do before we are as polished as we can be, like a little shining armor. Do be enthusiastic about your chances, but also be realistic that there's still some learning and experiences that is needed. Throw yourself into getting it sorted rather than pinning over the rejection. 5 is seek professional help if you keep feeling depressed after any form of rejection. Don't forever turn to alcohol or drugs, even if they seem to help you in the short term. In the long run, they can be extremely destructive forces. Number 7, don't be afraid to say no. Nothing is worse than someone leading you on and wasting time and emotions. Number 8, last but not least, believe in yourself fully. The warnings. If you keep taking rejection extremely personally, consider speaking to a counselor or even a therapist. If you're suffering from depression, anxiety, or any other mental health issues, you might not have the resilience needed to cope with life's ongoing pressures, and you need the added support. It's nothing to be ashamed of or afraid of. Every person needs a compassionate guide in life now and again. Number 2, people won't always get back to you when you ask for your feedback on rejection. That's just part of life. Sometimes they're too busy, or other times they're at loss for words as to how to explain something in a way that won't sound too critical or too personal. And sometimes they truly can't be bothered. You don't take it personally though, however, see if you can find someone else you trust and who does have the time to go over what has happened with you to try to see how to make future improvements within yourself and within that future aspect. Well, this quickly ends basically the last part of how to handle rejection, part 3. Give me the like for thumbs up for support and engagement. Comment below. Feel free to comment below also how you go about handling rejection and whatnot. You know, it doesn't have to be a little life story if you don't feel to. Just give me the heads up of it. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Feel free to also, if you want to join me on my journey and get to know me and be part of my YouTube family, to subscribe. Feel free to also turn on the notification bell so you can get notified with the new list that comes up of whatever I'm doing of my new content. Without further ado, guys, thanks for following me on my social medias. Also, sorry, no further, guys. Thanks for support. Thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out.